Here are two YouTube videos on the exact same topic. Same length, the same voice, the same stock clips sliding past. One of them earns money every single month. The other one is the reason a whole channel got deleted. And the thing that separates them, one small line, is the same line YouTube used to wipe 4.7 billion views off the platform this year. It was never the artificial intelligence. So today I'm going to build both of those videos in front of you, side by side. And I'm not going to name the line that separates them, not yet. I'm going to make you see it, because once you do, you can never unsee it in your own uploads again. First, look at what a content mill really is.
Kay here, and before anyone panics, let's kill the biggest myth in this whole niche. Using AI on YouTube is not banned. It never was. I say that because half the comments on any video like this are people convinced they'll get terminated for even opening a chatbot. That's not the rule. The rule is much more specific and honestly much fairer.
Michael here. We spent our last 2 episodes on the setup for this one. One was the crackdown itself, why channels are getting demonetized. One was the method, how to make AI content that passes. Today is where it gets visual. We put the 2 versions on the table side by side so you can never mistake one for the other again.
I'm Liam, and here's why it matters to you specifically. This is your channel we're talking about. Cross that line even by accident and you don't lose one video, you can lose the whole thing before it earns $1. Vivre video for Maggie is to survive inside.
And that feed is run out of one building. Every one of those removals, the whole enforcement wave, came down from YouTube's headquarters in San Bruno, California. It's not a mysterious algorithm out to get you. It's a written policy, with words you can read, that we're going to read together. Everything we test today, including a free checklist you can run your own videos through, lives at grow.professorerica.com, right next to a tool directory and an earnings calculator. But before we build anything, be honest with yourself. Have you ever worried that one of your own uploads might count as AI slop? Hold that thought, because we're about to build a piece of pure slop step by step. Watch it get deleted, then rebuild the very same topic into a video that earns. By the end, you'll have the exact test to run on your own channel.
Alright, let's build the slop together. Say you're making a video about the James Webb Space Telescope. Step 1. You find a news article that already exists. You don't read it, you don't verify it, you paste it into a tool and ask for a rewrite. That's your script. Nobody has had a single thought yet.
Step 2. You pipe that script straight into a default text-to-speech voice. No pauses you chose, no words you fixed, no tone. Whatever comes out, comes out. It's the same flat read on every video the channel makes. This is what the pipeline actually looks like under the hood.
Step 3. The visuals. You drop in 10 generic stock clips of stars and glowing screens, the same ones 1,000 other channels used this week. Then you paste the whole thing over one template you never change, and you upload it. Then you do it 9 more times before lunch.
And that's the part that kills you. Not one step of that had a human decision in it. Let me put the dead version and the living version next to each other because the difference is stage by stage, not one big thing.
Liam just showed you the tell. Every row on the left is the same move, letting the tool do the thinking. And YouTube gave that exact pattern a name. This is the person who named it. The CEO, Neil Mohan, called managing AI slop a top priority for the year. Low-quality, mass-produced content built to exploit the algorithm instead of serving a viewer.
So YouTube banned AI. Case closed.
No, Kai. This is the most important distinction in the whole series, so read it with me from the actual page. YouTube said the removals were for spam and deceptive practices, not a new anti-AI rule. And the policy itself, right here, is the thing that decides your fate.
Read it with me word for word because every word matters. On July 15th, 2025, YouTube renamed this policy to Inauthentic Content, and it says this kind of content has always been ineligible because creators are rewarded for original and authentic content. Original, authentic. Those two words are the entire game.
And notice what it does not say. It doesn't say a robot voice is banned. It doesn't say stock footage is banned. It says templated, mass-produced, no variation. So here's the real test. You could strip the AI out of that slop video entirely, but there'd still be nothing human left in it. That's why it dies.
So if that's the version that dies, what does the exact same telescope video look like when it lives? Because it uses most of the same tools. Let's rebuild it, one thing before the next part, and then we move right on. If any of this is clicking, tap that like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell for the next one. It takes a second, it costs nothing, and it helps more than you would think. Same telescope topic, now watch how little it takes to flip it from dead to alive. It's not more tools, it's more you.
It starts at the idea. Instead of scraping a headline, you decide on an actual angle. Maybe your take is why the first web image made astronomers rewrite a textbook, told for someone who failed high school science. That's a point of view a scraper can't generate because it's a choice. You're the one making it.
Then you use AI to help you draft it, and you rip through that draft with a red pen. You cut the boring paragraph. You add the one analogy nobody else would think of. The tool wrote a starting point. You made every decision about what stays. That editing is the human fingerprint the policy is looking for.
And here's the move the slop version skipped completely. You show people the real thing. This is the actual James Webb Telescope. The gold mirrors the silver sunshield the size of a tennis court. The slop channel used a generic glowing star loop. You went and found the genuine article and explained it.
Let me bring in someone who reads this policy line the way a good mechanic hears an engine. Professor Halden knows exactly what separates the videos that get pulled from the ones that keep earning. Professor, when a video like ours lands for review, what are you actually listening for?
Truth be told, nobody is hunting for the word artificial intelligence. The question underneath the whole policy is simpler than people think. Is there a person in this video? Not on camera, in the choices. Did someone decide what matters here, what to cut, what to say that isn't just the source reads straight back to you?
That's reassuring, but where's the gray zone, honestly? If I rewrite a scrape script in my own words, is that a fingerprint, or is it just a fancier scrape?
That's exactly the trap. A reword alone is still a scrape wearing a coat, so here's my one tell. Could this exact video exist without a single human decision in it? If yes, that's the one that gets pulled. Thanks for having me on, and keep a real person in the choices.
Michael had it right earlier. The rewrite isn't the safety, the judgment is. That's a huge relief if I zoom out, because judgment is the one thing a beginner already has and a mill never will.
Thank you, Professor. So that's the winning version, and it used almost the same tools as the slop. The only real difference was a human making choices at every step. Which raises the question you actually need answered. How do you know which side of that line your own next video falls on? So let's turn the camera on your own work. Forget guessing whether YouTube likes you. There's a spectrum every video sits on, and you can place yours if I zoom out in about 10 seconds.
On the far left is pure scrape and dump. Zero human input, and that end is where channels die. On the far right is fully transformative, where the tool basically vanishes and it's all your idea. Most videos live somewhere in the middle, and here's the one detail that stings about where beginners actually land.
Right there in the reworded zone. It feels original because you changed the words, but it's still the source's ideas, the source's structure, the source's everything. That zone is the danger zone, because it looks like effort and it isn't. You have to climb to the right of it on purpose.
So here's the actual test. 5 questions. Run your next upload through every one before you publish it and be brutally honest with yourself.
Go down the list. A take only you would write. A real editing choice you made. Something shown that the source alone can't give. A voice you actually directed. And it doesn't look identical to your last 5 uploads. Check most of those if I zoom out and you're safe. Check none of them and that's the video that gets your channel pulled. Liam, I can see you've got the obvious question.
I do. So a reaction video where I add my own take that passes?
Yes, because your take is the human layer. That's a genuine judgment call, and the policy specifically protects commentary and reactions. The line was never the format. It's whether a person is really in it.
And here's the catch: nobody advertises, nobody selling a course will tell you. This is real work. Adding a genuine angle takes time, every single video. So if there's a topic you can't add anything to, no take, no value, nothing a viewer couldn't get from the source, don't force it. That topic isn't yours to make. Skip it and pick one you can actually own.
And to be fair, the line isn't a perfect wall. It's a spectrum, and there's a real gray zone in the middle where reasonable people disagree. But that's actually good news. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be clearly, truth be told, on the human side of the middle, and you're fine.
So that's the whole trap, and the way out of it, in one line you can keep. Assist, and you build something that lasts. Replace yourself, and you're gone. Bring a real you to every video, and your channel never lands on that deleted list. Quick recap before we close. Slop and originals often use the very same tools. What separates them is a human making real choices, an angle, an edit, the real thing you actually show a viewer. Get that right, and the same AI workflow that gets one channel deleted keeps yours earning.
The line to keep is straight from YouTube's own page. Creators are rewarded for original and authentic content. Not for volume, not for a clever reword, for a real point of view.
Do this before you close this tab. Take your most recent upload and run it through those 5 questions. Be honest. If it fails, you just saved your channel before it cost you anything.
What I'd watch out for. Seeing on the right side of this is not free. It's real effort on every video. But that effort is your moat, the one thing a slop mill can never copy.
Next up in the series, we move from what passes to what pulls views. How to find video ideas with AI that people are actually searching for, instead of burning a week on a topic nobody wants. If this made the line finally click, hit like and subscribe, because we're building this whole roadmap one video at a time, done right. And that free slop checklist is waiting at grow.professorerica.com.
Here's the one to argue about in the comments. Where's the true line for you? Is rewriting a scraped article in your own words real work, or is it just slop in a nicer outfit?
This is Professor Erica. Thanks for watching and signing off.